Hi, my name is Ka, and welcome to Pitch Points. Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show today. It's a bank holiday here, what we call Labor Day in the US of A. It's about 3 p.m. Eastern Time, about 8 p.m. UK, 9 p.m. Nigeria, and then around the whole world, God knows what it is. But welcome to the show. Let's see who we have here. If you're looking for Patrick, Patrick is working. He has this new job where he's so busy. He's going through manager training, and so I'm going to be helping him out while he's there. He has a show coming up on Friday where we talk about Jack Grealish. People think Patrick hates him. I can tell you Patrick does not hate him. Patrick actually did a show about Jack about a year and a half ago where he talked about the patience we need to back Jack and what we need to do to make sure Jack does better. So he will talk about him on Friday. I'm here to talk about a couple of things. Champions League game, but also the game against Fulham on Saturday. So welcome, everybody. Let's see who will join us. Let's see who's out there. Daniel says, welcome, Daniel says, how many goals will Haaland score in the group stage? Daniel, we'll talk about that. You tell me how many you think he's going to score against Red Star, Leipzig, Young Boys, and somebody else. You tell me how many you think. Daniel says, we all have Jack Grealish agendas. That's Patrick's stuff. I'm not going to talk about that. If you notice, when Patrick tweeted about it, I just put lots of laughing emojis because I think the whole thing is hilarious. And it's a symptom, Daniel, of how spoiled we are as a fan base. Right? Where now it's no longer about how do we win as a collective. We all have agendas for certain players. Even the big accounts. I've seen some big accounts slander Julian Alvarez just because Julian is playing in Foden's spot as a number 10. All of a sudden, the World Cup, Copa America winner, the Champions League winner, the guy who won the Premier League is not good enough to play number 10. And Pep should be doing something better. And Pep is disappointed. There's some big accounts who are doing this. And I just laugh because it's stupid. It's actually ridiculous. And we see them. Right? Our job is to stick the facts, call the facts out, and see what happens. Daniel says that with the record in the group stages, 11 goals from Ronaldo in 2015. Haaland will break it. Yeah, let's see what happens. I'm really interested to see what happens. But welcome everybody to the show. We'll give it a few minutes because I want to get you guys out. If you're watching us, please subscribe to our channels, Pitch Points, True City Fan, and then also bring your other friends, share this out, let them join us. Out there, we have also Mr. Rollup, who is here. He says, Gomez looks legit on the left. Yes. We'll talk about that in a minute. Patrick's always been of the impression that Gomez is not a left back. That was Company who made him a left back. Gomez was always going to be a left-sided midfielder or a left winger or a right winger. He was never a left back. We tried him in a left back, and it doesn't work. He's always been a left-sided winger or midfielder and a left winger, right? Think about in the World Cup that Foden got the golden boot for. Who was second? It was Gomez. Think about the under-21s for Spain, how they played, right? It was Gomez. Again, doing what he does best as an attacking midfielder or a left winger. So I'm glad that Pep has now begun to play him in the position that he's best at, right? Absolutely. Daniel says, we'd love to talk about UCL, biggest trophy in the club. Yep, we'll talk about it. We will talk about that because we want to get people on the show We'll spend about 30 minutes or so talking about the game on Saturday and about the UCL draw. Just a few groups. I don't know if you like my shirt. Let me show you my shirt. You guys see my shirt? Okay. This was from the Super Cup game that I was lucky to attend. I saw this shirt. They were selling it. I got one for myself, got one for my missus. How do you like it? Looks good. Nice and trim, nice and slim. Makes me look good, huh? You know, look at those small muscles, very small muscles that I'm trying to build. Okay, nice shoulders right there. Look at the cuts. Nice European cut. Look at that. It's not the American ones. They're always kind of big and baggy. This is a nice European cut. Makes me look very nice and trim. Got that UEFA Super Cup bag logo there. Sevilla, Man City. You got Greece, Piraeus. You got the stadium, Olympiacos, and you got it right there. There we go, right there. Okay. I wore this because you never know when the next one's going to come. So I got it. I really like it. I wear it to all my trainings. I wore it out today to my son's practice so they can all see that, you know, we're Super Cup champions because you never know the next one. I hope you like it. Looks good, huh? Or maybe not. Okay. Let's get started. Let's talk about the Champions League draw. And what I'm going to do is share my screen and we just talk about some of the group stages. So give me just one moment. Let me go to the UCL draw. Here we go. And we'll share that real quick. Good. Let me see if I can see my screen. I think you can see my screen. Daniel says that, what did Daniel say? Daniel says, talk about the triangle of Foden. I will talk about that. I will talk about that, Daniel. Let's talk through this Champions League. We'll come back to that. So clearly what we have, our group is Group G. And I mean, I'm not going to talk about this group too much. I mean, we should be winners of this game. I mean, the reality is our first game, I believe, is against Red Star at home. We get through that. We play Young Boys. We should go through. So I'm not going to worry about that. I do want to talk about a few groups that I think are interesting. One is Group F. This group, I don't know. I'm not sure who's going to get through. Milan can be good. Dortmund are decent. Paris, under the new coach, should get it, but who comes second? Who comes second? That becomes the deal. Newcastle are struggling. Will they find form in time? We'll see what happens there. And then also the group that I am interested in also is Group A, because everybody's sleeping on Galatasaray, right? I have a funny feeling that Bayern and Gala go through, because match day one is Bayern versus United, Copenhagen versus Gala, which means that if Galatasaray win the first game and Bayern win the first game, the pressure's already on United. If Gala can get a point at United and take them back to Turkey and win, all of a sudden there's pressure. That's going to be interesting. Group B, Sevilla, Arsenal. Again, this is a really good group because last season PSV played Arsenal and they beat them in the Netherlands. Sevilla know how to win these tight games, so that's going to be interesting as well. So I don't know. For me, I'm going to go Bayern and probably Gala going through. Group B should be Sevilla and should be Arsenal. Could be PSV. Group C, I won't even bother with that. We know what's going on. Group D, Inter go through with probably Benfica or Real Sociedad. Group E, Atleti, probably Feyenoord, I think. In Group F, I'm going to go Paris and Milan. I think they'll go through. City and Leipzig will go through. Barcelona and probably Porto will go through. And then that's it, right? But match day one is, let me just share my screen a minute. That's going to be interesting because match day one, let's pull this up. Here we go. Match day one is the one I'm really interested in. I talked about this, right? So the match day one, the first game of the UCL is Milan versus Newcastle. If Newcastle go and get something out of Milan, then they have a chance of getting through. PSG Dortmund is another big game. It affects what happens in this game as well. City Red Star, we should win that one. This is going to be a good game. Lazio Atleti, Barcelona Antwerp, nothing to see there. Madrid Union, nothing to see there. Copenhagen versus Gala, another big one. If Gala get through, all of a sudden it affects this game right here, right? And they play first. So 12:45, versus 3 o'clock. So on the same day, the Gala at Copenhagen starts off before the Bayern game kicks off, which may affect the results of this game. So yeah, that's match day 1 for you. So it should be interesting. This is another interesting one as well. Arsenal versus PSV. Anyway, what do you guys think about that? The draw. Any surprise? Anything you're concerned about? Let me know in the comments. Let's see what you guys have said. Daniel says, imagine Mbappe in Europa League. Nah, it's not going to happen, Daniel. I think they're well balanced now, unfortunately, for everybody else. I think PSG have done well, and that they're really, really good balance, especially under Luis Enrique. They look like a really, really good team. Mr. Rollup says that, welcome to the UCL Newcastle. Yeah, that's the group of death. There's no doubt that's a group of death. When you have, PSG, Dortmund, Newcastle, and AC Milan, you have to bring your A game. Daniel says, if United don't go through, he will be there. Yeah. And then he says also that I'm not sure about Sevilla. These guys finished third on purpose just to win the Europa League. Yeah, I hear you, but then, so remember what Sevilla did to United last year. So I think they'll come good. I think they know what to do. Okay, but let's talk about the game against Fulham. So what I'm going to do about the game against Fulham, let me know what your thoughts are. How do you see the game? I'll give my own perspective, and I'm going to share some stats and some charts and some graphs, and we'll look at things in detail. Because I thought the first half was choppy, but it's expected, okay? You go into a game against a very good Fulham team, by the way, who got a point at the Emirates, who were aggressive on the ball, who press well, who passed the ball pretty well. And, we have De Bruyne missing, we have Bernardo missing, we have Mahrez missing, we have Gundogan missing. 4 players are out. And then we bring in a couple of new players. What do you expect to happen? Do you expect them to have rhythm right away? No. Right? They're always going to have difficulty making those connections. The question becomes, in the second half, what happens next? Right? Do you see a marked improvement? That's the signal nature of a good team, is that they figure out what they need to do, and then in the second half they begin to cruise. And I get it, right? Grealish is not there. Some people have an agenda that without Grealish there can be no control. Well, that has been disproven, because the second half there was absolute control, perfect control, keeping the ball, moving the ball in the pockets, good control, and we were efficient on the ball. So this idea in people's minds that without Jack we can't have control is utter trash, complete trash. Because in year 1, when Jack came in, we didn't have that much control. We were struggling. He struggled for the first year. It took us 45 minutes to figure out the balance. And guess what? We clicked and had control. Even with Doku and Alvarez and Foden switching sides. Even Juan Malio said it, that first half they struggled to find Haaland and Alvarez, but once they figured it out and switched positions, then the balance it was there, and then they had control. So we need to really stop these agendas about certain players that we have. We need to enjoy the fact that we have players who can play multiple positions, and we have options to play different systems and attack our opponents in different ways. Okay? Having Alvarez as a number 10 is special. Is he as good as Phil on the ball? No. Is he as good as De Bruyne on the ball? No. But Pep is doing something by playing Alvarez as the number 10. Right? I know we all want to see Phil in the number 10 position. The reality is the reason why Phil is probably out wide on the left is because Phil can play wide left and wide right. And so what's best for the team? Do I play Phil as a number 10 and put Alvarez out wide, right, to make sure Phil has game time? Or do I create the balance in the team that needs to play Alvarez as the number 10 next to Erling Haaland and play Phil left or right with Doku, which gave us more balance in the second half? It's about the team, not about the player. And the quicker we realize that, the better we'll be as a fan base. Seriously. Okay? And then we have, in the second half, we have Gomez coming on to play left wide, and Doku goes off. And we see what Gomez can do. We see him not just get the ball and kind of chuck in. We see him take on the defender, go out wide, dribble through, pass the ball to Erling, and bang, Erling is there for the goal. Right? One cross, one goal. We see Jeremy Doku on the left-hand side, who's able to take on the defender to the byline and cross it in to almost get an assist. We're seeing the fact that we can have options to do different things to our rivals. It's great to have Jack there because that gives us an option. It's great to have Gomez available. That's another option. It's great to have Doku available. That's another option. We have weapons that we can use for any opposition that we have. They don't know what we're going to do. This is the beauty of having the squad that has all these different options. We can win in different ways. So, my idea about this game, and also one more thing, I love the fact that Calvin comes in and Calvin is playing and keeping things simple. I always believe in Calvin. I know he's going to come good. I know it's never easy for midfield to come and play in a Guardiola system. Let's be clear. He's coming into the treble winners, the Champions League winners, the champions of Europe, the guys who won the league with 100 points, with 98 points, 92 points, who dominated the league. You expect them to get it right at the first try in the midfield? It's never easy. But he's committed to the cause. Calvin wants to learn. He wants to fight for his place. He wants to stay around. He wants to drive. He wants to improve. He doesn't want to leave. We cry over Cole Palmer, who left the club for Chelsea, and we slag off Calvin Phillips because he doesn't get game time. Why? Why? Because Cole is from Withenshire, whatever it's called, and Calvin's from Leeds. He's not a local boy who has the heritage and the legacy, so we don't give him the time. What are we doing here? He's committed to staying, fighting. Gotta respect that. He talked about the fact that when he had a bad game against Leicester, he cried and called his mentor, who told him, just keep trying. Why can't we respect it? If that is your brother or your cousin or your son who wants to fight, should you not encourage him? Why are these big accounts slagging off a guy who's willing to fight for the badge? And then crying for a guy who wants to go to Chelsea and probably won't get a game time. Why? We need to wake up and stop this agenda that we have around certain players. We need to stop it. John Stones struggled in his first season. Many slagged him off, said he should go out on loan, said he should be sold. The manager stuck with him, and he found his way back to be one of the most important players in our team. Akanji came in for 17 million. Many slagged him off. There was a guy that said, I remember, I'll never forget this guy. There's one particular guy that said, he's useless, don't need him. Why are you getting him? Important guy. So we need to just stop this, right? If we're going to go for the four-peat and the treble again, or the quad again, or win the Champions League again, we have to get on side with all the players, not just one player because they're local, because they're a boy who grew up at age 6 in the club. We have to look at our squad and back them. No matter where they come from. Let's see what you guys say. Danielle says that probably won't see Akanji stepping into midfield anymore with Stones back and Nunes in him. Yeah, absolutely, Daniel. But the key thing here is that Akanji was able to do that and learn through that to get us to where we are today, right? Even though that's not his natural position, he's quick enough, smart enough to learn that position and play for us today. That's the advantage. That's the advantage. Daniel says Patrick needs to speak about Bola. Yeah, and I know Patrick will talk about it. He will on Friday. Right? Many have casted Gomez off. There are some even accounts who have slagged this boy off so much, destroyed the boy's character. Yet he's staying, wants to fight. And now he's getting his opportunities, 15 minutes, 20-minute cameo to play, got an assist to Erling Haaland and literally killed the game off. And for those who say that, let me share my screen and we'll talk about the game. I don't want to talk too much. Let me share my screen. We'll talk about the game. We'll go to the actual details. So give me a sec. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So let's talk about the game in detail. So this is the City versus Fulham game. We won the game 5-1. For those who are complaining about, we didn't do well, it's not his position, this guy wasn't around, yada, yada, yada. Let me show you something, right? So if you remember last season, we played this very same Fulham team twice, right? So right here, right? In March, so in July, what was it? We played them here, right here. Here it is, head to head. There we go, right? We played them in September, and we played them in April. So we played them in April, And we played them in, oh, come on, buddy. We played them in April, and we played them in, I believe it was May. Look at the score, 2-1, 2-1. If I remember correctly, the 2-1 at the Etihad was a last-minute penalty by Erling Haaland, where we were all sweating bullets because Fulham were really good. Cancelo gets a red card, if I remember well. And somehow we're crying, oh, this guy is not here. He's not playing well. They're not good. And yet we win 5-1. Jack was on the team that we won 2-1. So what are we talking about? Context is key, right? Enjoy the win. Back your players. Let's talk about the game. Okay? We see right here. I want to show this. I want to show this to you. Look, check this out. Okay? So we had 7 total shots, right? 5 on target, right? Shots on target, 5. So we scored 5 goals with 5 shots on target. That's 100% conversion rate from shots on target. Total shots 7, 5 goals. That's a 71% conversion rate for all shots. And you're telling me there was no control in the second half. What are we doing here? What are we talking about here? Because the player wasn't on the field, all of a sudden there was no control? Right here, the data does not lie. Shots on target, 5. How many goals? 5. Total shots, 7. 1 off target, 1 blocked. Right? So in terms of total shots, right, 5 over 7 is 71 or 72% conversion rate of all the shots that we had. In terms of shots on target, 5 shots on target, 5 goals. 100% conversion rate. Okay? We talk about possession, 68-32. So clearly, and let's look at it from the first half. So first half, we know we struggled, right? Because we weren't passing the ball correctly, weren't doing as well. That's fine, right? 3 shots on target, only 1 goal. Second half, we changed. Absolutely changed. In fact, if you look at the big chance created, there was only 1 big chance in the first half, which means that Juan Malilo, the coaching staff, changed something in the halftime talk to get us to play to a point where we had more big chances, more shots on target, and more goals. Okay, check this out. Look at this, right? So normally our accuracy in terms of our pass completion is usually around 92, 93%. We're at 86. This was the first half. In fact, Fulham were close to the accuracy than we were, almost as close as we were. Lots of crosses as opposed to passes, right? A lot of dribbles, not many passes. We lost possession a lot of times, more than Fulham in the first half. So clearly, first half was not as good, right? But when we get to the second half, the numbers change significantly, right? Possession ball, more possession, more shots on target, okay? No shots off target. Everything was controlled. No shots off target, more shots on target, 3 goals. So 3 shots on target, 3 goals in the second half with 1 block shot. Oh, we look at, for example, let's look at the big chances. 2 big chances created, and then let's look at look at that, right? Accuracy goes from 86% to 92%. Because now in the second half, we have better control by a margin of about 8 or 9 more percent. Right? This is not me, this is data. So we had this is data. So this agenda around, oh, we didn't have control in the game. No, we had control with Doku, with Foden, with Alvarez, with Haaland, with Kovacic, with Rodri, with Phillips, with Bob, with Diaz, with Akanji, with Ake, with Walker in the second half, because they figured it out. They knew exactly what Triller were trying to do, and they took the advice and they improved significantly. Significantly, right? Less long balls, no crosses. First half we had three or four crosses, 0 crosses, 0. All about keeping the ball. Dribbles were about the same. Possession lost, 45 versus almost 60 something in the first half. So more control. Tackles, also 8 over what we had before. So we the data does not lie. I keep talking about the data. Data doesn't lie. Agendas will lie. Agendas will lie. Data, not a lie. Doesn't lie. In fact, if I was to compare the second half of this game to the 2-1 last season, the second half of this game was probably better than any game we played against Fulham last year, with certain individuals on the team, which means we had better control in the second half because we adjusted and the players understood it. So we just need to put away these stupid, crazy agendas and focus on the facts, the clear facts of what happened in the game, how the team adjusted to make sure in the second half they won. It's normal for the first half to be choppy with 4 or 5 new players. Players are trying to build connections. They're trying to figure out what's going on. But somehow, as Daniel has said, the triangle of Alvarez, of Foden, of Doku, of Rodri was absolutely ball on, right? Let's talk about, and I saw this, average player positions, all right? So this is basically showing us for the game, with the first players, what happened. And look at this, right? So in the average player positions, we see that actually, right, Doku, Alvarez, and Foden were actually higher up the field in average positions than Erling Haaland and Kovacic. Akanji was further back with Diaz. So this is the 2 in the middle, right? So it's the 3-2-2-3. Okay? So you see right here, the average positions really Doku, Foden, and also Alvarez. So it's no wonder that some of Alvarez and Erling were combining, not just to give the assist, but to combine the 1-2s brilliantly. If we add in the substitutions, let's see what happens. All of a sudden, Rico Lewis comes in. Look at how high he is. Oscar Blob comes in. Look how high he is. Look at Gomez right there. Erling Haaland's right there. Bernardo Silva central. Walker's high and wide. We have Calvin Phillips playing double pivot with Akanji. Ake still back here. So we see the fact that even with the substitutions, Haaland is still a little deeper next to who? Bernardo Silva, and Gomez is high and wide. Again, a front 3 really of Gomez, what's his name? Rico and Oscar Bob in terms of average positions. Without the subs, bang, here we are. Front 3 right there with the substitutions. Clearly, it changes to those 3. Again, Haaland playing a deeper role to combine with players on and off. Right? No surprise, Balzac goes out to Gomez. Gomez makes the run down in here. Erling arrives late in that penalty spot. Ball comes in and bang, it's a goal because he's talked to a deeper position. So we just need to really, guys, trust Juanma, trust Pep. They're cooking something. We think that we see Arsenal evolving to the 3-box-3, trying to copy City. We see Liverpool doing the same thing as well. We see United trying to do the box system. Meanwhile, Pep is evolving with different players to do different things and to get the results. All right? We've only conceded 2 goals, I believe, in the Premier League this season. Scored 11 goals. Conceded 2. And the 2 goals we conceded were just stupid mistakes. One against Sheffield, right? Walker. And then one bad one against Fulham with a mistake from Ake, which from a set piece. Ordinarily, we don't concede any goals. We scored 11, conceded none. We just need to be patient with what Pep is doing. It's too early to start to whine and moan and have agendas around certain players. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We have control whether Guardiola is there, whether Grealish is there or not. We have control in the second half whether Foden plays at number 10, Foden plays at number 7, or plays at number 11 because the system works. They know exactly what they're doing. All right? So this is basically my own view of the game itself. The data does not lie. Fulham was the same Fulham who went to the Emirates and got a point and could have won the game, all things being equal. And yet they were smashed 5-1, could have been more, right, against the champions of England and the champions of Europe. It's no surprise. Absolutely no surprise. Okay, let's look at some comments right here. Mr. Rollup says, Gomez at left wing is almost like you're absolutely right, mate. It's almost like a new signing. It's almost like a new signing. Yeah. Shriva says, here, yes, I am a City fan. Absolutely. I love the club, follow the club. It's my club, and I absolutely love it. Right. What does Daniel say? Daniel says, Pep changing games from his bedroom in Spain. I love the man. Absolutely. But it's not just Pep alone. It's Juanma, right? It's Juanma's confidence, his tactical genius, his ability to take instructions and convey that to the team. It's the whole coaching staff. It's a well-run club, a club that we should be proud of, a club that knows exactly what they're doing. Okay? I just want to plead with fans out there, right? We need to really stop this agenda around certain players because somehow a player that one particular fan base likes, if Alvarez comes in because a person likes Alvarez, all of a sudden Alvarez is not good. Is Alvarez going to be like Kevin? Absolutely not. Will Alvarez be like Bernardo? No, absolutely not. Will Alvarez be like Phil? Absolutely not. Alvarez is Alvarez. Doku is Doku. Jack is Jack. All different talents, all different weapons, all to our benefit. We enjoy the fact that we have all these weapons that can do different things. That's the joy of this. Absolutely. So I want to wrap it up there. It's been a short review. I hope you enjoyed it. Patrick will be on Friday to talk about this some more. Not just the game, but he's also going to talk about the Jack factor. Let's be clear, Patrick talked about Jack a long time ago. He even did a video about Jack, about what he needs to do, how we need to be patient, and all those things. We also need that patience for Calvin. Let's back Calvin. Imagine if Calvin Phillips comes good, and Matias Nunes comes good, and we have Rodrigue coming good, and we have Kovacic who's brilliant, and then Kevin comes back, and Bernardo is good. All of a sudden, we have all these weapons that are so good that we can go out and win as many competitions as possible. Imagine if Doku comes good and Jack comes good again, and we have Bob, and we have Foden, and we have Haaland, and we have Alvarez, we have Ake, we have all these guys who are coming good. Imagine if everybody starts to hit their form. Imagine the weapons that we have. Why can't we be patient? Right? We won the Super Cup. We're
Correct,
to the Premier League. It's our best ever start to the Premier League since Pep's first year. 11 goals scored, 2 conceded, 12 points, top of the league. And we're not even playing at our maximum with no De Bruyne. Adam, welcome to the show.
Adam, welcome to the show. Yeah, I'm not too bad. It's just that today's just been too hot.
I know. It's been hot. It's hot over here. It's about 36 degrees here as well, mate. What did you think about this agenda about no control, Doku, Alvarez, Gomez, no Grealish, so we don't have control? What's your thought on it, mate?
It is, Carl. It's pretty much just sentimental. That's what pretty much a lot of people have. I'm not saying you can't be sentimental, but don't let it blind you. Be like neutral, like balanced, not be some people. But that's why at some point I've just given up, man. With some people, you try to tell them, oh, don't be too much sentimental. Yeah, you can have somewhat sentimental, but not to the extent where you blind yourself and you don't see it.
Absolutely. There's a comment here from Mr. Bolton. He says, between Doku and Gomez on the left, Grealish has some legit competition for this game. Absolutely. Don't we want that? Isn't that a good thing to have competition? Right? You saw how Gomez and Doku went on the outside. Right? We think about the brilliant goal, wonderful goal that Haaland scores against Sheffield United, Adam, where Grealish goes on the outside for the very first time, chinks the ball into the middle, and bang, an assist. That's all we're asking for. More of that. Be more
You know what is, Carl? Look, competition brings the best out of all of them.
Absolutely.
And look, by all means, look, if it means bringing the best out of Grealish, fantastic. That benefits the team, Collectively, it benefits the team. Yeah. As a player, listen, if I'm a player, yeah, I want competition. I want somebody there that I know that, listen, this week, if I say, let's say I don't do my best, next week I know that I'm not going to be starting.
Yep. Absolutely. For me, it's all I want to do, Adam. That's why I have anybody that wants to leave the club, goodbye, except for Bernardo Silva, because he's just special, right? That's why I was always like, Bernardo ain't going to go anywhere. The club will make sure Bernardo doesn't leave. They'll do everything in their power to make sure Bernardo doesn't leave. And here we are, Bernardo staying. Here we are, Kai Walker staying, right? We talk about, oh, Alvarez is not good enough. Alvarez is the only player in our team who has a World Cup, Copa America, Champions League, an FA Cup, a Premier League. He's the only one, and a Super Cup at age 22. He's the only one. He's the only one. He knows. Without Alvarez, Adam, Messi doesn't win the World Cup. Doesn't win the World Cup. Doesn't win the World Cup. So, I really struggle. There's lots of accounts who do a lot of analysis, and that's fine. That's great. Good on you for the analysis. But at the end of the day, we just want to enjoy the game and win. That's it. Just want to enjoy the game and win. For me, and that's what I mean. And here is a United fan. Yeah, sorry, not a United fan. Super says, I don't mind not having control as long as we win. Fight, yeah. When you go to the stadium, right, Super Silva, right, it's good to have control, but you want to see. I was watching Jeremy Doku on TV, right, and every time he had the ball, I heard in the stadium people were like, "Wow, take him on," right? Okay, maybe the boy loses a pass or two. Okay, fine, but that's what you want. You want to see stardust, right? You want to see a player express himself, the natural talent that they have. Okay, you don't want to see a guy always have the ball and check back in, always have the ball and check back in, have the ball and check back in. You want to see a player can have some flair. When Messi was playing for Barcelona in his heyday, Adam, Messi used to go past players. Messi hardly used to check the ball back in. He had flair and pizzazz and dynamism to dribble you one-on-one and take you on. That's what fans want to see. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have control, but at the end of the day, football is an entertainment sport, and we want to see that, right? Super Silver says, I said Grealish can improve on his finishing. Yes, he can, because it takes too many touches. That's why he shoots always. The shots always get blocked. But people told me I have an agenda. This is the problem, right? I think Jack is fantastic. I think he's doing what his skills allow him to do. I don't think his decision making is quick enough, right, to go on the outside and dribble a player, which is fine. I think he's great defensively. He's great in the midfield. But we saw what happens when he goes on the outside against Sheffield United and he lays in a beautiful chink cross and bang, right? Because he trusts his instincts.
I don't know whether it's look, he has the ability and everything. It's fantastic. Grealish is a good player. I don't know whether it's like saying he doesn't trust himself, or he's somewhat like say hesitant, or not hesitant. I'll say scared to make a mistake in a sense. Yeah. He wants to try to do what's best.
And let me ask you a question, right? So when Gomez came in on Saturday, and you saw him on the left-hand side. I mean, the way he went past, you know what I was thinking when he went past that defender. You know what was in my mind? Clearly, they've been coached, right, to try to show the play on the outside. Fulham have been coached, right? Show them they're going to cut back into the middle. They won't be able to go behind you. I think that defender, the right back, was confused because he wasn't expecting for Gomez to go outside. I really think, naturally, he wasn't expecting that.
He wasn't expecting that. He was surprised to see that from Gomez.
What do you think about Doku generally? What do you think about him? What was your feeling? Were you excited about him? Were you?
I'm excited from what I saw from him, and against what's the name? I've already forgotten. Against
Fulham.
What was the game that we played before the international break again? I forgot.
Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham. Sorry. What I saw of him when he's taken his man a few times, he's there. But let's say he did lose the ball a couple of times, but that's expected,
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy for a kid to come into the Champions of Europe at home, first debut. I mean, it happens, right? But the little things that we saw from him, driving past the defender, dribbling, that's exciting stuff, right? That's what you stand up for. It's what you want to see, right? And then Pep hasn't even met this guy on the field yet.
Because the funniest thing was when I was watching that Fulham game, one of the Fulham defenders, He didn't know what to do. It got to a point where he said, "You know what? Let me just take him out." So he found him in near the Fulham box. So I was just saying, oh, I was laughing, but I was saying to myself, so the guy was unable to someone tackle him or didn't know what to do unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So he decided, let me just take him out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a comment here that says that there's a difference between when we are winning 4-1, so Gomez can be relaxed and try things, but when it's 0-0, I don't agree with that. Do you know why I don't agree with that, Alex? Because Sheffield United, how did the goal come about? Jack goes on the outside. He takes the risk to chip the ball on the left side into the box, and Erling Haaland heads the ball into the goal. Before that, we were struggling. You have to try things that are risky for you to get a chance. If Jack doesn't try that pass and go on the outside, that game ends up 1-1 and we drop points. It's simple. We need to stop this crazy idea that control is everything. If control was everything, Pep Guardiola does not go and get Gomez and Doku. He gets players more like Jack. These are facts. It's not me. The evidence is clear. If he wants 100%, Pep has to evolve the team based on what the competition are doing. Clearly, last season, we noticed what happened when Arsenal play us, when Liverpool play us, when all these big teams play us. They go man to man. Brighton go man to man. So how do you beat a man-to-man press? You know how Adam you beat the man-to-man press? By getting players who can dribble 1v1 and open up space. Not passers, but dribblers. He gets Gvardiol. He gets Doku. He gets Kovacic, right? Players who can dribble you one-on-one to create space to move the ball into the third. That's what he gets. And then he adds Alvarez for the press to win the ball and disrupt the opposition. This is not me talking. This is the data that's clear. The evidence is clear. I know many of us think, oh, no. Look at the facts and forget the agendas and forget what some big accounts are telling you. Look at the facts for your own benefit, for your own joy, for your own understanding, right? Use your noggin and not what you hear and see.
You
Think
know,
about
it's
what you see.
cause the issue with some of us is that I'm not singling out certain people, but the issue is that with some people, they don't do their own homework. They rely on others to feed them. It's like when you feed a baby, you feed the baby when it's small, yeah. But when that baby grows up, it learns how to eat by itself. So it's the same way. So you someone have to do your own your own research in a sense. Not rely. I'm not saying you can't rely on others, but do some. There's other accounts there that put out there some good stuff out there on Twitter, but there's some there that actually put absolute bullshit there
I mean,
without naming them.
think about Oscar Bob, right? So Oscar Bob comes in, right? And we're all excited, right? I mean, the boy, that dribble he makes in that, against three people. I mean, man, I'm so excited about what we have. Oscar Bob, Kovacic, Doku, Gomez, Jack, Vadio, Haaland, Phil Foden. Kevin is even out, but I'm so pumped about it because I think this team can do something special again this season. I really, really believe it.
And that's what
And
I
then
say. I say
you
it's crazy, Carl.
heard Kyle talk
It's
about the fact that I don't want to be chasing the league again. I want us to do what we did in 17-18. And dare I say it, right? Why can't we go invincible? Why?
You know which record I would love to break? I want to destroy that Chelsea record when Chelsea was under Mourinho, where I think for the whole season they conceded less than I think it was 15 or less than 15 goals. That's in, I think that's for all competitions. And that Chelsea side was no mean feat. Like they'll go up or
Absolutely.
two,
Absolutely.
and,
I mean,
and
Daniel,
they'll be pain in the ass.
absolutely. I mean, Daniel here says if Pep wants just control, he doesn't go and get Haaland. He'll just play Bernardo, false nine. The reason why KDB is the best is because he tries and takes risks. Kevin is like the quarterback. I talk about the quarterback, right? Many quarterbacks, when they throw the ball, they lose possession, right? Or they intercept it. That's what they call it, right? Kevin is one who takes the risk. And many times he loses the ball, right? It's no surprise that when Kevin was out in 18-19 season, we got 98 points. I would dare say that 18-19 team was a better team than the 17-18 team.
You know what I like to describe? You know, I like to describe KDB as. I like to describe KDB as the Tom Brady of football, basically, in a sense, where
He is, exactly.
he is, he's basically there, like the Tom Brady, how Tom Brady does his job in American football.
Right.
It's the same thing with KDB.
Right. Super Silver says, I hope Nunez helps us. I mean, this is see, Adam, I'm pumped, brother. You know why? Because we haven't even played Matthias Nunez yet.
And you know his card. That's what I remember me and you discussing privately on WhatsApp. Yeah. I remember saying to you, listen, I was excited about it. I said, listen, let's get this deal done. Yeah. What this kid will offer us to the City Square is
Yep.
very valuable, and it will give Rodri the valid
Absolutely.
rest that he needs. You know, you got somebody there that's able to play in Rodri's position as a for
Absolutely.
example, and
Absolutely.
he's giving Rodri that rest that because Rodri, look, God forbid, yeah, that he gets an injury, but now you've got somebody that has the ability of playing in that position. Yeah, somewhat you can rotate Rodri or say, let's say if it's say a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup game, yeah, like against say something like say Sheffield or a Luton, sorry, yeah, you can chuck in Nunes there. It'll
Yep.
give Rodri a rest, you know, a valid rest. So I was very happy with the signing. You know, me and you we were talking about it a lot.
I mean, I'm going to take my time because today's a holiday weekend. I'm going to take my time to watch Matthias Nunez again. Just go back and watch the United game that Wolves lost 1-0 because I watched clips and he was very, very active. It was really good. We haven't even talked about him coming to the squad, mate. I mean, just imagine when everybody's fit, right? Think about January, February when everybody's fit and we have De Bruyne, Nunez, Rodri, Phillips. Phillips keeps playing well. We have Bernardo Silva coming in. We have Kovacic. That's like 6 players in the midfield. Then you got Alvarez, and you got Haaland, you got Foden, you got Doku, you got
I,
Jack,
I will make you
you got
laugh, Carl,
Fonzie, you
because
got Rico, you got Oscar Bob, you have
Carl,
Akanji.
I'll make you laugh because I was speaking with somebody
It's
last
insane.
time, and somebody DM'd me on Twitter saying to me, that this Matteo Nunes deal transfer was meaningless. Yeah, I said, oh, why? He said, okay, Lynn. He said, why is it meaningless? He said, how is he going to get into the team? Yeah, when KDB comes back, is he going to start ahead of KDB? Is he going to start ahead of Rodri? Is he going to start ahead of Kovacic? Or is he going to start ahead of
Mm,
what was it? Phil Foden. I said to him, why are you thinking like that? I said to him, listen, is KDB going to play all of the games, every single
exactly.
game?
Exactly.
No. Is Foden going to play every single game? No.
No,
There will be games where Foden is on the bench. There's games where KDB will be on the bench.
absolutely.
Every single player will get minutes. You know? Even Calvin Phillips will get minutes this year, hopefully.
Absolutely. I mean, Daniel's come here says Pep in 2018 documentary said we have to play football with courage. Daniel, the funny thing, Daniel, about that is I coach kids, right? And I use that line all the time. I say you have to play football with courage. So when I'm watching all these games, I'm not just watching it because I want to troll on Twitter spaces or I want to. I'm watching it for my own benefit. What am I learning from what I see? How do I apply that in my own game? As a friend of mine, Thiago's father is a Liverpool fan. He's on Spaces, right? Him and I talk about coaching a lot. He tweeted today that his team play a 3-box-3 now, right? And they had to explain to the kids the risks and the benefits of that system, and they won. So we need to put these. What really annoys me is I see some big accounts who are slagging off certain players like Phillips, a lot like Alvarez, because their players not to play in that spot. And these are accounts that I respect and love to listen to and watch. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? Is this what success brings? Success brings the fact that now we won everything. All of a sudden, we can now begin to slag players off. No, all we want to do is make sure we keep winning.
You know what it's called? Some of us have become absolute spoiled piece of shit. Sorry for my language. That's the honest truth. That's the best way I could describe it, and that's me. Yeah, being kind. That's the honest truth. Some of us have been absolutely spoiled. Where if we don't get what we want, we start throwing our toys out the pram.
Mm.
Like, come on, we're not bloody fucking Arsenal. We're not Man United.
Talking about Arsenal, Adam. I mean, Chelsea. What do you think is going on? I mean, what are they now? 8 points behind City now?
Chelsea is the same. Chelsea is the same old Chelsea from last season. Arsenal, so far they're not doing that bad, but we'll see what happens.
Mm. You know what I think? I mean, Daniel out there, everybody out there. Who do you think our biggest rival is going to be this season? I think it's Liverpool. I think,
Same here. I think Liverpool will be the biggest threat to us.
yeah, I think it's going to be Liverpool. I mean, what I saw from them yesterday and against Newcastle away, they're getting back, man. And I said it from day one. And the reason why I talk about this, and guys out there in YouTube and Twitter land, please let us know, who do you think our biggest rivals will be this season? Let me know what you think. You think it's Arsenal? You think it's Chelsea? You think it's Liverpool? You think it's United? Who do you think, or Tottenham? Let us know who you think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Liverpool, because I think there are two things why I say so, right? Number one is that Liverpool have been there. They've been to the top of the mountain in the Guardiola era in terms of getting to 95 plus points. Chelsea have under Conte as well, but it's a different Chelsea now. I think that Liverpool have got to 99 points, have got to 97 points, have got to 91 points against the modern Guardiola team. So they know what it takes to get there. They know what it takes to get. Arsenal, in their best ever season last season, could only manage, 84 points or so? And City weren't really getting to their heights. They could got 18, 80, 89 points, I think it was, City, when normally they're doing 92, 95. So from what I see from Liverpool, I think, again, I've said it many times, they are the ones that my eye is on. They're the ones I'm saying, hey, I hope you drop points, right? Because they know what it is to get there. They've been there before. They know what's going on then.
You know what it is, Carl, with Liverpool? They're similar to like us in a sense where, let's say they smell blood like from us. Let's say they can see that we're somewhat say not doing that well. They're the team that I can somewhat say I fear that will capitalize. Like genuinely speaking, I think if Liverpool were in Arsenal's position last season, I would be more say worried or more scared. That's what I was last season. The whole season, regardless of where Arsenal were, I was 100% confident. If it was Liverpool, generally speaking, it'll probably be a different story. I'll probably have somewhat nerves ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel said, I say the attack wins you games, but the defense really wins. I don't disagree with you, Daniel, but let's look at the facts. Okay, Liverpool only conceded how many goals? 2 goals.
I think no, I think they conceded 3 goals in total. They've conceded. We've conceded less than them. I think, if I'm correct, I could be wrong.
Liverpool have conceded. Let's check the facts. So Liverpool 1-1 against Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Then they went to, who did they go against again? The next game was against who? I know against Newcastle they conceded one goal, right?
Yeah.
And then against Wolves, against the last weekend, 0 goals.
Yeah.
One more. So which team did they play that conceded more goals?
I forgot which one was it.
Let me check. Because I think
check. That was easy.
They have the second best defensive record. Let me
because I think it's us first, and then it's them. I remember, but I don't know how many goals it was.
Liverpool have conceded. Let's see. Take a look. Points. Let's see. Liverpool have conceded 3 goals. 3. Second best defensive record. See, these are worrying signs.
Yeah.
Arsenal have conceded 4.
Yep.
West Ham have conceded 4. We've conceded 2. Tottenham conceded 4. Liverpool have the second best defensive record in the league.
Yeah. And it's probably, the way it is, it could even be. We just got to wait and see and just capitalize in every game.
What I'm talking about, right? And they've been to Stamford Bridge. They've been to St. James's Park.
Yeah.
And only considered 3. These are worrying signs, right? And so people talk Arsenal. Nah, please. From what I saw yesterday, not Arsenal. I'm not taking it seriously. I'm just not. I think Liverpool. They're back on the road. They're back on the road. they will be difficult. Yeah, I just have that sense. It won't surprise me if they push us all the way again this season. You know, I just got the sense of it, man. Yeah. Anyway, listen, guys, we've been running for about an hour. A couple of things. Patrick will be on Friday. He will do a show. Make sure you look out for that. Adam, are you going to run any spaces this week, or are you going to relax a little bit?
I will do hopefully potentially probably if something comes up in mind or if you guys have something in mind, I'll do one. I don't mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Daniel, thanks for coming on. Adam, of course, thanks for coming on. Mr. Roll Up 10, thanks for coming on. Super Silver, lovely, bless you. Thanks for coming on. Alex, thanks for coming on. Let's see who else joined us. None of you out there. Oh, we have. Oh, Vader's coming. Vader game. Vader game. You came at the end, brother.
Yeah, man. I just saw the message. My bad. My bad. I wasn't on WhatsApp, but I'm here, man. Sorry for missing the show.
Now, we talked about a lot of things. We looked at some data about the game on Saturday. We looked at the facts, not the agendas, the clear facts. And what is clear is that the team actually performed really, really well in that second half. I mean, what were your thoughts about that game, just in summary?
Yeah, man, I look forward to going back and watching the show from the beginning. No, the game was impressive, Gundo. The game was impressive. Like we can't ignore what we're looking to do with new introductions to players on this team, man. Like it's not easy just to fit in and get things going. And the fact that we got Kovacic playing so well, we got Doku doing what he did in terms of just announced with us, thrown in to show us what he can do. I thought it was a really good start, and there was no pep on the sideline. If anything, players are getting feedback like what is it? Not broken telephone, but through someone else. Like they're getting Pep's instructions, but through someone else. And I thought how everyone responded in that second half was absolutely amazing. Like there's always a huge target on our backs because they're playing against the European English champions. We get the best from everybody. And I thought how they responded and dealt with that game in hand was fantastic because 4 games, 4 wins. Like this isn't typical city. So
well, I mean, the stat that surprised me the most, Veta, and Alex says Veta better late than never. Absolutely, it's better late than never. The stat that surprised me was the shots on target. Right. So think about this. Right. We had 5 shots on target and we scored 5 goals. Right.
I didn't know that stat. That's incredible.
That's 100% conversion rate. Now, I want everybody out there to just pause. Okay. Let me explain to you how this works, right? Usually, in normal teams, a 40% conversion rate is an exceptional number.
Yeah.
Right? From a coaching perspective, my team has a 40% conversion rate. That is really, really, that's high. The average conversion rates for most teams are about 25, 30%. That's kind of the average conversion rate generally. Let's be clear. They had 100% conversion rate, shots on target. Now, in terms of total shots, right? 7 shots, 5 goals. That's 71% conversion rate. Right? I just want us to think about that, right? I mean, and don't follow the agendas of certain accounts. Divorce yourselves from that, right? Look at the data. Last year, we played this same Fulham team with De Bruyne, with Jack, with everyone twice, and we could only manage 2 goals. One was a last-minute penalty by Erling Haaland. 2 goals.
But, Carl, you know what the funniest one was?
Madam, we have no Pep, no Jack, no De Bruyne, Bernardo coming in late, right? All these players out, and we pumped them 5 with a 100% conversion rate. 100% conversion rate. Adam.
Yo, big up Adam.
You know what's funny, Veta and Carl? An Arsenal fan, was telling me, and he even posted it, on what was it, on his Twitter and all of that. A certain guy called Igal was it our City got weaker. you sometimes just gotta laugh at the pure. I don't know whether it's stupidity or idiocy, people being idiot or foolishness. So an Arsenal fan knows more about about City.
Adam,
No,
whenever you hear things like that, it tells you that they're afraid. That's how it works.
listen, there's some rivals, and again, shout out to Egal, that's my guy. But there's some rivals. They're counseling. They're trying to do their best to calm and guide their fan base. And so to throw out something like City are weaker, that's what that fan base needs, because they know, like, this title fight's gonna be fierce. And they didn't want to believe it last season. And for them to kind of feel confident, maybe it's to know that, oh, City aren't as strong as last season. So it's a lot of what do they say in the streets? They call it copium. That's what it is.
I mean, let me give you a different perspective for out there, right? So what's happened this season, and wrap it up in a minute, is if we stay with the same team last season, yes, the levels will drop. But now you have all these players, then teams have to figure out what Guardiola is doing, and they don't know right now. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows what Pep is doing, because now he has new weapons he can use. Matias Nunes, Doku, Kovacic. You have Oscar Bob, unknown quantity. He can dribble. He can drift past you with 2 passes. De Bruyne is out. Where's Bernardo going to play? We have Radio. What's Radio going to do on the ball? Alvarez is not playing more with Haaland. What does that mean? How do we close them down? What do we do? Is Haaland going to drop deeper? Right? What was interesting when we talk, and go back and watch the show, guys. What was interesting is that when we showed the average position of the players in this game, guess who was higher up the field in the average position? It was Alvarez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess who was higher up? Guess who was deeper? It was Erling Haaland.
Yeah. It's never the same, right? It's never the same. And again, I know you want to wrap up the show, but it's never the same. You can't expect City. You can't expect, to your point, you can't expect Haaland to be the exact same player he was last year and to be used that way. I mean, I'm going to go back and watch this, because the fact, if he's dropping further deep and he's helping with that build up, like you've mentioned on previous shows, even last year and the season before, if a player is vacating an area and the defender follows them, there's space in between, or there's space behind,
it's
and who occupies
that. It is the false 9 with Erling Haaland, right? Guardiola played a false 9 with a number 9.
Okay.
All he's telling them to do is, I want you to drop, which means that the defender has to follow you, right? And when they follow you, there's a big fat hole that guess who drops in there? Julian Alvarez.
Nice.
Think about the goal that Julian scores. Who gave the assist?
Yeah.
Erling Haaland. Because Erling is a little deeper. He attracts the defenders, 1 touch, bang, into the space, and guess who's there to run on to finish it? Julian Alvarez. False 9 with a number 9. The manager is the GOAT. I'm telling you all. While we're arguing about Jack is playing and Doku's not playing and Alvarez playing number 10, Pep is cooking stuff, and we're so busy squabbling over the crumbs, we're not seeing what this manager is doing with the team. We're missing the moments of genius because we're too busy on agendas by certain players. Wake up and enjoy what's happening, because it won't be here forever. That's my message. Go back and watch the game again, the Fulham City game. See what Erling does in the pockets as a false 9, combining with Julian Alvarez. Go watch it again and then learn from that. Theta, when is your show?
Probably looking at 4:30 our time, 4:45. I'm setting up right now.
Let's talk about it on your show. This discussion will continue on your show, on the Vedigum show. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you watch it. I will be there with Patrick. Well, no, maybe not. Maybe with Patrick, with Adam and everybody else. We'll explore this some more, because it's going to be really interesting, this debate. I'm looking forward to it. But everyone, thanks for watching the channel. Thanks for joining us. Patrick is busy. He will be back. Okay? And then we'll continue the discussion. Thank you so much, Adam. Vader Games, anything you want to say?
Man, no. All I'm going to say is I will go back and watch this show from beginning to end. I'm sorry that I missed it. I'm glad I was able to join. Everyone in the chat, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe as well. And look forward to talking with all of you a little later in the day.
Right. And then the final question here is, hi, Carl, can I ask your opinion? Is Arteta simply copying what Pep has previously done in terms of tactics? Or is he's a good coach, right? Let's be clear. Arteta is a good coach, right? To be able to come second in the league and play the way they play, he's a good coach. I dare say, in my opinion, De Zerbi is better. Roberto De Zerbi is a better coach than Arteta is. He's cold. The way that Brighton play on the ball is top class. Give De Zerbi Arsenal's team last season, De Zerbi probably wins the league. Anyway, that's a discussion for another time. But hey, guys, thanks for coming out there. Thanks for joining us, everybody out there. Again, Vader Game Show in about an hour. Make sure you join that show.
45 minutes. Yeah.
I will be there. We'll all be there. And this discussion will continue on the Vader Games TV show. Thank you so much. God bless and talk to you soon. Bye.